Alright, in this practice, we're going to calculate average variable cost and marginal cost eventually using the information of labor input and quantity of output as you see in table 6.3. So assuming the first two columns and fifth column, which is wage rate of labor input, are given, we are going to reproduce all the other four columns, including average product of labor and marginal product of labor. So we are going to do these exercise with the spreadsheet. There, we are going to complete the table 6.3, and also we are going to draw the graphical representation of these curves. See you soon. Alright, I just copied the first two columns and fifth column into this spreadsheet of Excel. I'm going to fill out the third column, which is column C on my spreadsheet, to calculate average product. So by definition, average product is how many outputs Q can you produce per unit of labor you inserted into the production process, right? So by definition, Q divided by L. So when I have spreadsheet, I don't need to insert 49 divided by 1, and the next row 132 divided by 2. I don't need to go through it. I insert formula, which indicate the average product I'm going to calculate is pretty much the quantity in each row divided by the labor input in each row, the first column. So B3 divided by A3, that will generate average product, which is 49, and that matched the table in table 6.3 on your slide, right? So once I insert the formula, you can see the formula in this function window on the top, and from that, once you inserted the function formula with the equality, then you don't need to do all this typing again. You just click twice, and Excel calculate all the following rows accordingly. For example, if I click here, automatically here the formula applied to the next two columns on the same row. So it's supposed to be B5 divided by A5. So that's what happened, right? To calculate marginal product of labor, we are going to rely on the formula. If we go back to table 6.3, there is a comment such that from a production function Q equals 30L plus 20L squared minus L3, we have marginal product of labor equals to 30 plus 40L minus 3L squared. So production function indicate how many output can be produced by inserting the inputs, and that relationship is determined by this function, which is called production function. So the output is production output, quantity units of output, and on the right hand side of the equation indicate the technology that uses labor input. Then given that, applying the definition of marginal product of labor, which is delta Q divided by delta L, you can derive this formula for marginal product of labor. So we are going to use this formula to calculate the fourth column in the spreadsheet. See you soon. Alright, as you see here, for marginal product of labor, in the row 3, I inserted the formula 30 plus 40 L. So L is replaced with A3, which is labor input quantity, minus 3 L squared, which is the location in A3. So as I position my mouse on here in the corner and double click, now it fill out all the marginal product of labor for me from the fourth row to 15. So if you compare these numbers to table 6.3, that is completely matched well, as it demonstrates marginal product of labor indeed was calculated according to the formula. Once you know average product of labor in column C and wage rate or price of labor input in column E, divide column E by column C. As you see the formula in the function formula window, EC divided by C3, you can calculate average variable cost. So average variable costs are inversely related to average product of labor. And by positioning this cursor on the right bottom corner and double click, you can fill out, and these numbers match to the numbers in table 6.3. Same thing for marginal cost, it is inversely related to marginal product of labor, and you can calculate it by dividing wage rate E column by D3 marginal product of labor, and double click, you can calculate all the cells in column G that give you marginal cost, and these numbers match to the ones that you see in table 6.3. Alright, let's try to draw average variable cost and marginal cost graphs using chart. So first, I'm not going to use the second row as it contains not available number, so I'm going to hide it. And if you look at this 195 in cell G17, it is on hundreds number scale, which is too big compared to other numbers in the column F and column G. So your graph, if you include this 195, you won't see anything but flat curve, excluding this high peak at 195. So I'm not going to include these two, rows 17 and 18. So I'm going to include only the first 16 rows. So I select this area and click insert and go to chart types and click this. Then I can see that the blue curve, if I click it, indicate average variable cost, and the orange curve indicate marginal cost. Then finally, I want to match the quantity of output. So I selected it with right click and then select data. Then if I go to here, the horizontal axis now labels as 1, 2, 3, 5, the integer. So I want to match it to show as the area that I'm going to select is actually the unit of output up to row 16. So I click it, then set OK. Then you can see now it changed, right? So as you see here, again, when the output becomes 1300, then average variable cost and marginal cost are equal, and this happens when average variable cost hit the minimum level, which is at 3 here. Thanks for watching.